Hello and welcome to another Super Success show. Today we have with us Alexandra Holovitz. Hello, Alexandra. Thank you for being with us. Hiya. So, Alexandra, she is a tantric guide or sex coach, to make it easier for all of us to understand. But that's something that she's been doing for a few years. I've known her for many years. And before that, she was like traveling and kind of, I'd say, I might be absolutely wrong. Let us know if I'm wrong. Like trying to find herself, like we all do, right? So, Alex, thank you for being here. Can you let us know much more about, your travels and how that ended up on you being a tantric goddess?
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Regina, for the invite. So my name is Alexandra Holovitz, and I run the brand called Alexandra Guru.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tantric sexuality. I'm a tantric sexuality coach and also hypnotherapist.
Mm-hmm.
So I mainly focus my time right now on working with men to help them to heal, awaken, and empower them to step into that tantric God that
Mm-hmm.
they have inside within them. I truly believe in transformation, and as you mentioned as well, my story as well, it's a great example. Therefore, until I'm 37 right now, basically until my 30s, I always had great jobs, but I never really was fulfilled. And
Mm-hmm.
I always looked for like, what's the next thing, that how I can travel, what I can do. And there was a lot of limitation. I'm originally from Hungary.
Uh-huh.
Born and raised here, and 12 years I lived abroad, mainly in London, the US. I worked on cruise ships. So in my vein, I think that I was always a vagabonder.
Uh-huh.
But I kind of worked myself around, like I always take a job, maybe in cruise ship or in a resort, or to do something fun, but then in the same way that's satisfying, so I could travel.
Mm-hmm.
But in some ways I always felt like, yeah, that's really great, but I really want to do my own business, find something that I could passionately do every single day, wake up, make a difference, and just to get this fulfillment out of it.
Yeah.
And I noticed that after a couple of years, every job I just got sick. I just felt like, yeah, this is really great. It's giving me the benefit. I could travel, but it's not fulfilling me anymore. It doesn't give me that extra really spark or sauce or something. So my journey really go back that I had an amazing coach when I was 30.
Mm-hmm.
So as you said, 7 years, so the magic 7 years,
True.
shortly. So you guys, if you're watching this and you over 30, don't stress yourself, because honestly, I know a lot of people who turn around their life just when they were 30. So if you haven't yet figured out who you are, where you're going, what is your biggest passion, it's never too late to start.
True. It's
Okay,
fine. Yeah.
that's so important, I think, because we get this from the media and from our parents that, okay, when you're 18 you need to decide. So in my story, actually, I'm an economist. So when I was younger, I used
Uh-huh.
to work in corporate, in banking, and I really hated it. Sorry
I had no
guys, work
idea.
in
Now
banking.
I totally learned something new about you. I had no idea you were an economist. You totally surprised me right now,
Yes.
and I am quite amazed. I really do not see you with the suit sitting at the office and being there
No.
for 8 hours. Like,
It was a very short period of time. I think was a year and a half or something. And then I was just like, this is so not me. So I really decided to put the suit on the hack and just go and travel and figure out like who I am really. So basically that after when I was 30, I take on a coach who was a
mm-hmm.
high performance career coach.
Yeah.
And we started to go through like, what are my strengths, like who I am, where I'm going, what I'm passionate about. And these two things like sport and sex kept popping back, kept popping back. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's great. But I mean, like, you know, do I really want to be a sport coach? I love doing sport, but sport coach, and I didn't really feel the calling for it. And then when the sex thing popped up, it was always like, wow, this is so juicy. I could talk about it all day long, and I love it. All
I
my
know
friends.
it.
Exactly. So all my friends came to ask questions, even when I was younger. So I was like, okay, but what is the path? So I knew that I was 30 and I didn't really want to go down in the normal route of like 5 years learning to become a psychologist. And, you
Yeah.
know, maybe half a year you can study a bit of sexology. So I was like, no, that's, I mean, like it's too long and stuff. So he said to me, look, why don't you try like to go down to the route of like becoming a life coach, doing some sexuality courses, and then see what you're thinking. And then that year also I decided that I'm gonna go on my travels,
Mm-hmm.
which actually led me to go to Bali, where I
Uh-huh.
met a lot of people who were tantric coaches, healers, sexuality, sacred sexuality, yoga teachers. So, you know, I kind of got into this bubble of people
Mm-hmm.
who already lived the life that I was wanting to live one day. So I was like, okay, so that's possible. Because of my culture, like I came with a lot of
Taboos? I
limiting
was just
beliefs.
gonna go there if I'm honest. How did you actually dare? Like to go there and
Yes.
say, I am a woman and I want to teach men how to have
Mm,
proper sex and give pleasure.
yeah.
And face other women saying, well, that's just being like a whore. Sorry, everybody. Sorry. I mean,
Yes.
I was just absolutely honest here because if you're not in our parts of Europe, they are kind of different, but they are very similar. Guys, men are very sexist, and females are as well, some of them. So I'm really curious about that. How did you get the guts to say, I am not being a prostitute, which
Mm,
me particularly, they are absolutely allowed to do whatever they want. They are
mm,
doing great jobs, and I do believe they are necessary, the ones that chose this. Okay, but how did you get the guts?
mm.
Say, no, I'm doing different.
Yes. So basically, it took me for a couple of years. I'm not gonna say it was an easy path.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of fear within me, fear of being seen, fear of being misjudged, fear of being like, you know, that people would think, as you described, that, okay, I'm just a fancy escort or like a fancy whatever. But then the more I really got into this world, the more I saw that there is so much more than I thought that is
Mm-hmm.
possible. So I think that the first was to get rid of my limitation because, you know, in Hungary, they period traditional. So the way I grew up, I run a lot of good girl syndrome. And as you mentioned, if you are a guy, you basically been tapped on the shoulder if you sleep as many girls as possible. And if you are a girl,
Oh,
then you're being judged,
yeah.
basically, right? So that's always been like a misconception, I believe, because sexual libido, it doesn't have to do anything with gender. It's about basically you feeling alive and you want to explore and you are, you know, open. So I
Mm-hmm.
always had this dilemma within me, even when I was younger, that I wanted to explore, I wanted to try a lot of different things. And all my ex-partners, they were really like, that's not normal, like this, we shouldn't do that. And so they were really limiting me. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, actually, that the way that I break through from this to when I went to London and I saw the variety of people, like how many different kind of relation, how many different type of people, like, you know, I lived in a place where having to see a guy dressed as a woman in 12 in
Mm-hmm.
the Saturday morning, that was totally fine. I mean, like people would walk next to me and I would be like, oh wow. And nobody cared. Like
Mm-hmm.
literally
Nobody.
nobody
No,
cared. It's
I
just
loved
like,
England as well in that
yeah,
sense.
so you know, that's completely wired my brain around thinking like, okay. So afterwards, when I started to study, I think that the more so I did a course in London for
Uh-huh.
psychosexuality for a year, because as I said, I see that learning for 5 years as psychologist, that's not really the path. And then after that course, I went for the travel, and then on the travel, I already started to learn a bit of yoga, a bit of healing, a bit of energetics. And then when I came back to Europe, I did all of my certificates on Tantra, and then I learned also body work, which is the armoring. Because by that time I actually see that that's really great, like you can solve issues on the mindset, but there is a problem as well, that we are storing trauma within our cell. So basically what happens, the first step always to understand what is causing you the problem, what is blocking you in your brain. But once you understand, you need to also remove that blockage from the body. That's why nowadays I work very holistically. So I offer people coaching with hypnotherapy in the beginning of my sessions. And then we move to somatic coaching, which could be also done online, but also if they can travel. So for example, there are people from Germany, from France, from Austria. Right now I'm based in Hungary, in Budapest, and they flew in and they have sessions with me. So it's really, really amazing. So I especially really passionate about the armoring, which is basically like an armor that we carry in our body, which could be like causing stress, trauma, anxiety, any kind of, you don't have to be thinking like trauma as going through like rape or, you know, any kind of very serious thing. It could be even like you have a fight with your spouse or your girlfriend, and basically that you don't say nothing. So that could cause a lot of armor here, for example. Or many people store a lot of shame, trauma in the face, here as well, like unsaid things or like clenching, a lot of tension. So what does really the de-armoring do? That it's actually removing all that. So your body going to be feeling more loose and more relaxed. And why is it good? Because most of the people I start to work with, they are living in pain bodies. So we are walking around, even myself 5 years ago, I didn't know about it because I didn't know what is possible when you actually free your body. So that's the hardest, I think, that to get into like embodiment, like you're really taking on your charge of your body and saying like, okay, I want to remove that.
Now,
So,
oh, sorry, you go. I just wanted to say that now that you say that, I want to tell everybody that is watching this that I think it was 10 days ago or so, we had a short session. And well, she gave me some recommendations that are plus 18, so I'm going to keep to myself. But I've been doing it. And for the last 10 days, I am feeling much, much better. So I wanted to recommend everybody. Oh, so of course they are plus 18, and then we are like, oh my God, do I want to add plus 18, you know, like so touching, masturbating, doing things with my partner if I've got one, to my routines? It sounds like so weird, right? Yeah, it does. But it's freaking amazing because as she was just explaining, everything is freaking holistic. It is. I am so happy, like seriously, in these 10 days, my anxiety, my stress, it has changed so much. And also as well, my intimacy with my husband, which because we both were very stressed. Intimacy, of course, it gets affected. And we were both like, yeah, we do love each other. And yeah, we're fine, we're just stressed. But when you decide to actually listen to Alexandra, it's worth it. So I'm sorry to interrupt, but I really wanted to get on there saying this really is freaking awesome. So
I actually generally recommend like a 30-day mutual self-pleasure for couples. As I described as well, like when you think about, so there is a difference between masturbation, there is a difference between self-pleasure, and there's a difference what is tantric self-pleasure. So basically masturbation, as many of you probably do right now, you might use like an explicit material, which could be like porn or fantasy or anything that to get out of your body again. So you're not really connecting, you're very goal oriented. You are focusing on like getting the goal, which could be an orgasm. I mean, don't get me wrong, orgasm amazing. So, but what is important that you really spend time on your body and asking with an intention and to listening your body, because your body will tell you every single day. Some days it needs light touch, some days it needs a bit of firmer, some days you maybe want to tap yourself, some days, you know, so you have to really listen. And the main key thing is to breathe. Many people walk around breathing very shallow, so they actually forget to breathe. And when they get to the masturbation, they actually get into the and that actually triggers with guys, for example. That's why a lot of guys suffer from premature ejaculation, because the fast breath, it triggers the orgasm, so then they ejaculate. And also because of the poor habits. So with the masturbation, I have many videos, so I'm not going to go in. I love conscious masturbation. So if you're interested, I have also YouTube channel where I talk a lot about like how you can get into conscious masturbation and why is it important, what is the benefits, and so on and so forth.
Everything we will have, so all the channels, her group, everything is in this post. Okay, so to connect with Alexandra, just stalk all the links that we have around here. Okay, she will hand everything over to me and I will have it here. So awesome. they can join your communities, because they are awesome. I mean, all the communities of all my guests are awesome, but if you really want a good, high quality sex life, which as Alexandra does, I do believe it's absolutely important to live a fulfilled and successful life, join her communities. I wanted to ask you, sorry.
And just one thing that I want to add with the sexuality. So what is very important, I think, that people understand that we have the sexual energy within us. So you need to first work on to get activated with your sexual energy, because it's actually like the Kundalini energy in your spine. So you have it already, the key to succeed in life. That's what is important. You start acting on it and you start activating with different rituals and processes. So with that as well, that you can get better health, you can reach more success in your business, you can call in a life partner, you can do many different amazing things. So I'm very passionate about that as well.
Yeah, so no, I actually wanted to ask if you feel like your fulfillment comes from the fact that you can help people go through this de-armoring, go through, you know, finding their life partners, so finding happiness actually at the end of the day. So do you think you find fulfillment because you finally can help others find their own fulfillment?
Yes, absolutely. You know, for me, that's very beautiful to see that if you think about it, it's like the butterfly effect. Because a person come to me that they're really in their shell, like they are very anxious, they closed up, they cannot even sometimes communicate their own feelings, emotions. They are really stuck in the patterns of that they have been doing, or they maybe keep choosing a wrong person to live with in toxic relations. So therefore they give away a lot of their power, their energy. And basically for me to really to figure out like when it went wrong, and then to start adjusting that what needs to be. Many times that it's actually like a confidence or self-esteem, self-worth issue underneath. The thing is that the sexual arena is somewhere where you cannot hide anymore. So even if you have like premature ejaculation or erectile dysfunction or lack of orgasm, generally, if you don't have any medical cause which could cause it, so you might don't have, you know, taking medication, or you might be older or something, it can also cause. So I generally ask them if it's less than 6 months, then probably it's something triggered there, which is causing the sickness. So basically that once you find that, many often it's parallel with actually that maybe my wife left me, maybe I've been fired from the job. So there is anxiety, depression, frustration, and the inability to relax. That is
Uh-huh.
the biggest sickness for the people, I think, these days, that they are unable
Yeah.
because we are rushing through. We want the next thing, the next thing. We want a bigger house, a better car, you know, and we're not able to be present. That's why it's very, very
Mm-hmm.
important, because some of the exercises give to people that they can be really struggling in the first time. So let's say you do breath work for 20 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes. So it's like really they're like, oh my God, I
I've
cannot do
been
this.
bored. Yeah, I've been bored for the last 3 minutes. Oh my God, I've been doing this only for 3 minutes. I'm gonna die, right? At the
Yes, so
beginning.
that's
Yeah.
why, because you also have the mind chatter, right? So in
Mm-hmm.
order to get more into your body, like the beginning it will be very hard. I'm not gonna lie, like it's hard for the
Yeah.
beginning when you start doing it, but every change, you know, you go to the gym, you start working out, you will have muscle fever, you will feel like, oh my
Yeah.
God, this is hard, right?
Exactly.
I always bring that example because mainly I work with guys, so they are really familiar with gym
Uh-huh.
workout and stuff. So I explain them, look, you cannot expect you go to the gym for one time and you have six pack. I would
Yeah.
love that, but
Magic. Yeah.
unfortunately doesn't work, right? So you really want to be like consistent. When the people start working with me, we will have sessions every week or every 10 days, which is
Mm-hmm.
a live session. And in the between of sessions, I prescribe them homework.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also like, I often find that the people nowadays I work with, that was a beautiful path as well, like in the beginning, because you want to get experience and you want to work with everyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm very, very grateful for all of my clients. Really, they are like soulmate clients who
Uh-huh.
are really willing to, they got to the point when they want to change their life, and they're
Uh-huh.
really willing to do all of the exercise, and that's really fulfilling me, because then you see that within 3 to 6 months there is a huge transformation of people. So from this little nutshell, they becoming this beautiful phoenix or butterfly, and
Mm-hmm.
the whole life changed. So the sexual thing is one thing that is changed, but I think what I do, that is more like a full life transformation, because
Yeah.
as the sexual energy raise up, you actually have a better job, a better life quality. You might even, like one of my clients right now decided that he had like a very bad social habit of like drinking. And
Mm-hmm.
now that we are kept working over 3 months, he decided that he's gonna completely transform his whole life for getting even more vital, more energy. So there is always other things as well.
That's so cool. It's really good. I like it so much.
Mm,
And well, first, I'm really happy because, yeah, I do agree that one of the most fulfilling things that we can do, it's actually help others. That I mean,
mm,
I only coach as a side thing, and I coach not that much people per year, but it's also something that fulfills me so much. So I do understand.
mm,
One question, it might not actually be something that has been on during this tantric coaching. It might be before, but I'd like to know on your journey,
mhm.
mostly over these last 7 years, um, have you had any setback that was very significant, or even let's call it failure, because sometimes the setback is so big that it's like, okay, I failed here, I need to rebuild there,
Yeah.
that you feel it can be helpful for the audience? Because one thing that it's very important for me in this group is most of the people in the group knows, but some doesn't because haven't faced it yet. They
Mm,
are still on those, when you're still going up on the roller coaster, you still haven't seen the way down. But there's no way to be successful if you don't learn how to take the downs as well and then go up. So I wanted to know if you have had any of those already and how you overcame it. Like, how did you wrap your head around it and, well, come out success as a super cool tantric coach? Superpowered, by the way. I'm so proud of you. You have no idea. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so for me, like I think my journey started with a failure and then to a success. So it's kind of
Okay.
like a little bit other way around. So in the beginning, I kept really self-sabotaging myself.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever a little bit of success would come in, I noticed a pattern that I would like start pulling back. So I didn't have the, like many people suffer from I'm not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
I had the other pattern, like I'm too much.
Yeah, you were scared of how good you could be. I've
Yes.
been
Yes,
there,
so,
been
so
there.
that's like a really interesting method, because whenever you're trying to look up that stuff, like everybody kept talking about like, oh yeah, you're not good enough, but nobody really talks about like, what if you feel like this is too much and it's expanding too fast and you don't have the capacity to hold it.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to go down in the path of like, drinking. I'm not saying like I was drinking heavily, but like I kept sabotaging my energy in the way that I would have like a glass of wine like every single night just to cool down and just to feel like, okay, I can hold this, all of this that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that for me, self-sabotage and also for not trusting myself, if you are on the train of entrepreneurship, like, that one month it's really great, maybe the next is not so great, but you still need to show up. You need to
Uh-huh.
be like, okay, I'm choosing this to do. So my number one advice for people who are just starting out or doing, because for a long time I used to be one of those person that say, oh yeah, we just do it next week or next whatever. So
Yeah.
that never get done, okay? So that's why you are probably not successful, whatever you're doing yet, because
Mm-hmm.
you keep procrastinating. I know I used to be amazing with procrastination and perfection,
Uh-huh.
but
Yeah.
being something to do something so perfectly, then it never get done.
Yeah.
So now
It's
I'm like,
never
if
good enough. Yeah.
90% done, I'm happy. Just to keep on moving, because I noticed as well that the more you show up, the more it will come. So even if you
Mm-hmm.
feel that there is, and the other thing, for example, for me, used to be that the instant gratification, like I show up and I want instant result
Yeah.
before. So now I learned that, look, my business is a long-term journey, and I'm really here to actually, the way I work more and more on myself, the better the client I attract, the better the
The,
opportunities, the better.
the money, the business. Yeah.
Yeah, so I really, really that to start comparing yourself, because also everyone has their own journey. So you are
Mm-hmm.
on your unique journey, and you can only attract whatever is your capacity that time, whatever you can hold. So the universe will supply. You just have to trust yourself and do the habits. Really, I used to hate habits like really so badly.
Me too. I remember seven
But
years
now I
ago.
understand.
Yeah, I said I was habit phobic. That doesn't even, it doesn't exist. But
Yes,
habits are the best. They build us.
yes, completely. So, for example, before I always was like, oh, this morning habits of, journaling and yoga and cold water. So now I have like an hour of habits.
Mm-hmm.
And then I do it every single morning, like no matter what happens. So my tip would be there as well. Like I do conscious masturbation, cold shower, and a bit of meditation and movement. So
Mm-hmm.
just find whatever makes you happy and whatever makes you connected with your body. And
Mm-hmm.
start doing those, even if you do just 10 minutes every single morning or 5 minutes. Start with really slow, that that, or small, that that you can do every single day. Because for habits as well, sometimes it's
No question, because I think it's going to be helpful for the audience.
sure.
On this 1 hour morning routine, do you check your phone at all?
No, in the first hour, no.
Okay, just so everybody takes a note on that. Don't check your phone I recommend at least 30 minutes after
Yeah.
you wake, like you open your eyes, give it 30 minutes. I just wanted to see if you were, you know, if you did check your phone or the,
Yes, because also I think that the problem, once you check your phone, your brain becomes to like the work mode. So you start like, oh my God, this email, oh my God, this happened, and this message, and you becoming into this busyness mode already
Mhm.
before you get started. So the first thing I do that I just wake up, I do 15 minutes meditation. I either use guided meditation or I just sit with myself, giving myself intention, and then I do like a 20 minutes. It's sometimes self pleasure, sometimes just like a tummy massage or breast massage. So some kind of physical touch. And
Mhm.
then I wake up from the bed, and then I do like a 10 minutes kind of cultivation, the energy, similar like a little bit of shaking, dancing, so just again just to move the energy. And
Mhm.
then generally if I have the time, I go just write a couple of ideas that came to me, and then I just have a cold shower and the breakfast. So that would be like pretty much like in an hour. So I really like to do it. And I noticed as well, like since last year, I actually before was used to drink coffee quite a lot. um, Entrepreneur have best friend as coffee, we know.
Yeah.
But right now I have a slogan as well, which is from an American sexologist, that I don't do coffee anymore, I do orgasm. But
I love it.
I love it because it's so true. So whenever I need a pick up, I would just do like a self pleasure ritual. And the other thing as well that is very important to understand, to find things that gives you pleasure
Mhm.
within your day. So pleasure can be, you know, smelling if you drink coffee still, so smell the coffee, feel the air in your face, or just go
The
out to
sun,
the
I love the
sunshine,
sun. It
five
gives me
minutes.
such a pleasure. Just like on my morning routine, because I don't go outside of the house every day. You
Yeah.
know, like my health doesn't allow me. So part of actually my pleasure rituals is to go outside on the balcony and just bathe in the sun. And
Yeah.
sometimes I don't realize, and my husband comes in and he's like, "You've been out here for 10 minutes. Are you going in
Awesome.
again?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'll be back in a second." Some
Yes.
days I'm just there for seconds, you know, but some days it's like I just disconnect and I just get kind of connected to the sun, if that makes sense. And I'm out of this. Like I get out because of
Yes,
what you
that's
say.
really good.
So
Because
much people.
actually also in Tantra as well, that there is a method that you can use. It's called sun gazing, which
Uh-huh.
means that in the morning, that the first thing before you switch on any electronic device, so no laptop, no phone. So the
Mhm.
first thing, you close your eyes, you walk out, and just to open it and start watching the sun for a couple of minutes. Take 3 to 5 deep letting go breath, and just to connect to nature. I think that's
Beautiful.
very important because also right now we have the COVID, so we
Mm-hmm.
need to take ourselves like care. So there is a huge need, I think, that to try to connect with nature. So if
Yeah.
you can still go out, like take hiking, take somewhere, like just walk or bike, or just to move your body, because your body being designed to be moved.
Yes. Yes, that's definitely another thing. Like, we have forgotten that, you know, we were meant to hunt what we eat, and
Mm,
it's fine that we don't have to, but we need to take care of the body in some other way.
yes.
Like, you know, it's okay that we can go to a supermarket, but we need to anyway give the body what it needs on that hunting or gathering or whatever kind of side. We are still humans, you know.
Yes, and also just energetically, I think that just to look after your body. So if something makes you tired or, puffy or like lethargic after, because it's actually as well, like I'm not nutritious, but right now also I'm working because I'm vegetarian.
Uh-huh.
And so basically for me, it was a transformation since last year, that before I eat maybe meat like once, twice a month, so not
Mhm.
so much. But right now, like, I completely stopped. I'm not vegan because I feel that that's a bit too much restricted for me,
Uh-huh.
for my body, but I generally eat vegetarian. But I also noticed that some foods, they make me more tired or more, heavy and stuff. So I work now with a nutritionist, and she gave me really, really good tips on like how to fuel my body. And actually, so I would really, really suggest, if you want as well like a better health, you really have to look after yourself with
Yeah.
the movement, with the diet, and the easiest as well, like from tantra, like to breathe. Like the breath is so healing because we are not putting oxygen in the body, but imagine
Or
that.
in the brain. Like you're running a business and you don't oxygen your brain.
Yes, completely. So even like a lot of my clients, they say, look, if I would have to bring out one thing that I learned working with you, that how important is the conscious breath, and the way that you can start pushing and activating and energizing your own body and even your organs. So your organs, they are very beautiful. Within 28 days, you can actually heal. So with a lot of different things. So yeah, I'm very, very passionate. So I think holistic healing and holistic way of looking at yourself, because our body, it's incredibly smart. So it's always have the answer for us, I think.
I wanted, like, this is the last question of the day. I wanted to ask you, because on my, like, that's something that is happening to me in all of the interviews, okay? So you can't tell me to F off. But a lot of people I am interviewing, we met years ago, and I've seen your progression. So I am interviewing you because I do feel like you are successful. So I would like to know, how would you explain success? Some people have said, well, I don't feel successful. That happens. Okay. Anyway, Rihanna or Taylor Swift, they don't feel so successful either. So it's fine. I just wanted to know, how do you describe and how do you feel success? So how's success for Alexandra?
Yes. I think that's a really great question, because I'm going to tell you a little story before I go into mine. I was in a group coaching, and they had also this question, and there was, I think, 15 people. And the definition of success, it was amazing to see. In some people get really triggered, then they get really offensive, like, don't want to be success, I don't want to chase money, I don't want to do this, and they got really, really worked up by it. And some people got this megaloman, like, yes, I have the big car, the big house, everything. So they got success equals power kind of methodology. And there were some people that I am as well, that I completely agree that success means for me that I'm doing the job that I love. I work with my time as I want. So I have the freedom that I can do kind of whatever I want. So if I decide tomorrow, I pack up my stuff and I go to Bali because I want to live there, I could do that. So success for me, it's actually to have the freedom that to do whatever I want, whenever I want, whoever I want. And plus to give value to people. And as we talked, that for this fulfillment, to see the person to working with me, so my job is so valuable that they are putting in themselves, in my hand as well, to go through the transformation, and that is giving me fulfillment. So of course, like, I think that the money part for me, for a long time I had issues to ask actually premium price. So right now I work only with VIP clients who are really committed with a high-end clientele. But basically it's only because I feel that they are really, really committed, and for me as well, that I'm there for them to really give that kind of almost like a white, like how do you say, like a service that it's
yeah, silver service.
So, yes, so like,
right, like luxury service, you mean?
Yes. So like totally that it's like, you know, that you will go the extra mile because they are there on the journey.
Yeah.
So for me, success is really about three components. I think that, like, the freedom, the fulfillment, and then to be able to be selective and to serve in a luxury way, whatever I do.
I love that. I love that. If I'm honest, it's beautiful. I think nobody had gone with the silver or luxury service, and I feel very. It's very relatable for me because, of course, I also do silver service. So I didn't even think of that, but it's really awesome. So yeah, I actually do agree. Part of success is to be able to, deliver your freaking best, that, you could give less, but why? I mean, I'm freaking awesome, so I'm giving it all, right? Yeah. I know it. Yeah. Sorry, everybody, if you can just criticize me in the comments now. It's fine. Yeah, it's like, okay, if I'm freaking awesome, why wouldn't I give it all? And so you deliver an amazing service, and that makes you feel even better, right? Because great. So, well, that's kind of all, unless there's anything you'd like to tell to the audience. So now, if you have any offers or anything, please feel free to, the stage is yours. And if you have any questions to me, I'm happy to answer as well, even though I'm the host. But that's all from me. I am super happy to have had you here. So, stage is yours if you want to say anything, love.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity to do this interview with you. It was really amazing. So I have an initiation for men who wanting to step into their full power in 2021. I just going to launch in January a 5-day online workshop. It's an initiation about Tantra. So it's a totally new workshop, and it's going to talk about Tantra. It's going to teach you basic sexual breathing. It's going to help you to activate those love muscles, teach you a little bit about the conscious masturbation. And basically, it's a little bit of a teaser and taster as well, like how it feels to work with me, and how is my personality. And if you feel that that's like a good match for you, then you can book in for a free consultation. I always work with people for...
I'm just signaling where. Sorry, you keep going. Yes.
So I offer like a 1-hour call that where we can go through. So it's a little bit like a mini coaching that we find out what is your struggle and where we would take you within the 3 or 6 months. So that's what we did as well with Regina for the other day. So we went through a little bit what is causing the trouble right now, where she want to go, and how I could assist. And generally after that, you can decide that if it's a good match, and if I feel as well that you're the type of person who is coachable. For me as well, like, it's important to know that I only take generally in a month like 3 to 4 people. So I'm very selective on the people that I work with, because I really want to make my 100%, but also for them to be able to show up and to have the container where they can grow their best. So that's the two things. And also I have a free group that is the Sexy Me. So we will also link that up.
Awesome. So again, I know we are not too many people here yet, but she said 4. So it's gonna fill up pretty quick. I message her if you're interested. Also, if you're girls, I hope she doesn't hate me. She's not a specific coach for girls, but if you have any questions, you can always jump on one call. I am sure she's gonna be more than happy to help, and also to make money. I mean, at the end of the day, that's why we are all here. So again, I mean, I know I've always been with trans rights and stuff like that, but I was born a girl. I am a girl, okay? So she was coaching a person with a vagina. Just, I know it's not necessary to be so clear, but just so you know. So she does it. You, if you want, if you think you need it, you can always reach out to her. and say, look, I want to pay you one coaching because I think I am a bit blocked there and I need some input. Well, I mean, I talk a lot about sex, but that's not my thing. Call her. Okay.
Yes.
And you
So
have
actually, for the part that basically the beginning, I used to coach women only. And the reason the whole transformation happened, because so many ladies, they complain that I would really love that my husband, my boyfriend, my spouse would know all of this trick that you taught me. So the way that I transform my coaching is actually because there's not many women who happy to take on guys for coaching. So I really feel that that's like a bigger niche on like the need itself.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
actually that everybody these days about female empowerment and the whole Me Too and everything is happening. But in the end, the guys also need support. So we shouldn't be harsh on the guys because there is so many amazing guys out there. So I really, really appreciate and really love you guys. So I really, really, for both, like I generally, like right now, actually, I have 50-50. So even though I mainly advertise for men and couples, although I think that if you feel that I'm a good match for you and I feel the vibe as well, like obvious, I know the women, sexuality and all the other things. So if you feel the good vibe, then I'm happy to also coach you through. The only one correction I would make, I don't do one off. I only do
Sorry.
process.
Sorry. Okay.
So I only work 2 to 4 months. There is a taster that you can do if you're not sure yet, because they are obvious higher investment with time, energy, money wise. So I offer that it's like 2 times that, one to direct what is the problem and then one to transformation. But that's only if you have something less than 6 months. So maybe there's like a tiny thing that you need coaching on, or maybe a hypnotherapy. But generally I like to work with people for longer time because
6 months. Just
yeah,
like me.
so obviously because it's like you have been doing certain things of habits like maybe 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. So it's not time for 1 or 2 sessions that will solve, because it would be the same like the gym
Yeah,
example.
it's because you offer a complete solution. You don't sell a product. You don't sell a service even. You offer a real transformation, a solution.
Yes.
So yeah, it's just like what happens with me. I'm like, it's 6 months, it's not less. I mean, I'll help you transform, or I won't work with you. So I do understand
Exactly.
it. So I thought that maybe with ladies, because they weren't your client, but take note. If you want it, you get a whole transformation.
Yes,
So
yes.
awesome. So thank you very much,
Thank
Alexandra.
you also.
It was a pleasure. Also, it will be a great, incredible pleasure to have you again if you want to, where you can actually walk us through maybe, you know, uh, I was going to say the process, not the whole 6 months, love, because
Yeah.
we will never get off the phone. But uh, something that you do on your coaching, or I don't know, something that you actually do, or
Okay.
even one session if the people wants to, because you can explain to us how to breathe or something like that. That would be so cool. That's
Awesome. Yeah, I'm happy
if you if
to
you
do that.
want to. I'm sure people will love that. So thank you very much for your time.
Also
I
to do maybe like a short hypnotherapy with a bit of coaching, or like pleasure hypno, that's very big with women. Like women used to love like pleasure hypno, like wow, I can make you orgasm.
Yeah, I mean, I for the ladies that don't even know what it is, which might happen, I didn't like 2 years ago. It's like such a weird orgasm because it's like the best orgasm that you've ever had, and so then you get used to it. Okay, then you get used to it, but it's very weird the first time. It's like, oh, was that inside of me? I don't know
Yes,
if that
yes.
happened to you, but the first time when I had like an pleasure thingy, it was like, wow, what was that, so that
Yes.
would be really awesome. I would love that. So people, if you would like, you can give us ideas on what would you like Alexandra to do with us next time, and then we can have her again as a guest, which will be amazing. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so
And
much as well. Have an amazing day, and thank you guys for watching, and feel free to reach out if you feel that that's a need for you.
definitely, I'm sure that they will. Everything is up there, and also if you want, and she's happy to, you can contact her. It will be her page and everything. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Bye bye.